All right, let's talk about it.
Okay.
It's the brief live.
Brief live, yes, because we got things to do and people to see. So I can't see you, but we were gonna just recap our awesome retreat that we're doing July 19th to the 24th. 5 days on the beach, Indian Rocks Beach. I think we have some pricing. I'm gonna actually put it in the comments because I forgot by heart. So let's see. Oh my gosh, I can't put it in the comments.
And it's co-ed, right? We're thinking about just women, but I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if we get, the majority of women signed up first and they want it to be all women, fine. That can be what it is. Or maybe they're open to it being co-ed, and then that's how it flow. But
yeah,
we'll
see. But anyways, I think from off my memory, I think we're saying, yes, I remember. So for double bed, which means you'd have to share a bed, or if you had a friend that came with you, it is $2,200, but there's an early bird pricing of $1,800. For a single bed, it's a little bit more because obviously the privacy, and I believe that is $2,800, but with the early bird pricing, it's $2,500. So those prices are inclusive for your airport pickup and drop off, so you don't need a rental car. All of your food, all of your drinks, all of your snacks, you get a swag bag, you get all the services, fruits, beach, yoga, what else? Oh, and accommodations. The most important thing is where you're going to sleep. So beautiful house across the street from the beach, and of course hanging out with me and Candy, which is going to be super cool. Right? Candy? Right.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 Capricorn.
So,
it'd be fun just to have a Capricorn only event one time, retreat.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
That'd be wild, huh?
I'm so zodiac proud. I'd be like, Capricorn. Wait, Rosie, please don't lick me. Hold on. Oh my gosh, she's freaking me out.
Or, it would be cool to have a human design retreat or something like that based on your human design, or, I'm a projector, so, but I don't think it couldn't be just a whole bunch of projectors because nothing may not get done. It's like, there'd have to be some like your generators there or something like
also
that.
Like based off like your Mercury sign, because that's like how you communicate your Mars placement. Like certain placements would be cool to vet people. Like you guys will be over here, you guys are over here. That would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So am I like super zoomed in for you, or
perfect? You're good.
Cool. Good.
Yep. Just a wee bit at the top of your head is cut off, but that's okay. It don't look bad.
Well, you need my whole head.
There you go, right there.
All right, cool.
That's better.
Weird, man. Anyways, we are here to talk about some more stuff about detoxing, and I think the topic came up last time about menopause and menstruation and hormone imbalance. And so,
do we have anyone joining us? Did you tag me in the live, like going live with Candy?
I didn't even have time to do that.
Well, that way all of my little friends can be notified because they're in the age of needing this. All the cows that I went to high school with, but yeah, they're probably not tuning in. But you don't have to be calling it menopause because there's no such thing. Let me tell you right now, there is no such thing. I think we've already kind of talked about this, but I don't know why, or maybe I've just talked about it so much to different ones. But yeah, I mean, even look, I heard a woman. She was on Dancing with the Stars, okay? I like to go peep her stories sometimes because I think she's funny. She's just a comedian in a little bit. She does some comedy, with her little skits and stuff. But anyway, she's look, I mean, I guess, everybody's hustling, right? So she's selling stuff and advertising it. And so she's talking about these sheets. I forget the name of the company of the sheets, but she said, because they breathe at night because, with some sheets, you just wake up and you're just wringing wet. You're just drenched in sweat. I mean, she's probably in her 30s and has just had her 3rd baby and nowhere near what most of us would think is the age range for menopause. So, it's just so interesting. your hoo-ha doesn't have to be dry. You don't have to be all uncomfortable in your skin. And our bodies gave us signals from the get-go, from when we were really young, that we were putting in things that just were not, you know, that were like foreign to the body, really. They're just like, you know, or they're offensive to the body. And then, so if it's an acid forming, mucus forming thing, your body is going to do a few things to reach homeostasis. And, you know, a fever or sweating is definitely just one of those things that the body can do to help it to get back to balance there. So where's your bed? Get in your bed, Dad.
Especially when the adrenals are involved, the hormones are going to be definitely imbalanced, and it can be perceived as menopause or whatever you want to call it. People there's PCOS, which is another imbalance of hormones. Because estrogen is a minor acid, right? So when you're having your time of the month, you think that acid on top of all the other acids, it's going to create some not good feelings, some burning and cramping and bloating. And so the answer is always fruits. The answer is always taking care of that inflammation, that mucus immune response by bringing down all the inflammation, hydrating the body.
You know what?
Really getting the space open. That's what it really comes down to.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
Now, I mean, I can't speak completely on this because I'm not a man. And I would actually love to talk to some older men and just get the scoop, okay? But so you got this thing called menopause that's all, you know, all about the women, and then what they're going to be doing and transitioning, and or like what, you know, they call it, oh well, you're just going through the change. All right, well, let's think about men for a minute and what's so common. And oh, they ought to be a name for this, like, well, a tag, something on what, you know, I'm just kind of kidding there, but men, there's a lot of commonality in men who when they get older, their prostate gets enlarged. Yeah. and then what? And then their wiener don't work. Mm-hmm. I mean, and this can happen, like, okay, so they say early menopause. Well, guess what? There's early, what do you call it? Erectile dysfunction. There is that can happen in your 30s. Yes, it can. You know, I know of someone who had a penile implant, a penile pump.
Gosh, it sounds horrible.
This had to be done when in his 40s, probably. I don't know, and it doesn't matter. But I'm saying, yeah, you know. So think about it, you know, and even in a man in his 20s, after drinking booze, will have trouble performing. Their thing won't get up. I can remember being on a date with a guy, and well, you know, well, there was the date, right? And then I guess we were drinking. It's just been many so long ago. And anyway, later that night, it couldn't happen. You get me? It didn't happen. It wasn't happening. It was either probably just like limpy or softy, or it wasn't hard enough. You know what I mean? I'll just keep it real. Okay. And
yeah, that sucks. That happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
With younger guys. Yeah, and it just really speaks volumes to me about how horrible our diets are getting. Like, everything is an accumulation factor. So you can imagine children being born, and like it's just getting younger and younger with the issues coming up. We're getting sicker and sicker because this accumulation of just stagnant lymphatic stuff is it's being passed down. And so I definitely have noticed the younger men, most of them have those issues, and it's really not cool.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
You know,
so, yeah.
I know that. So we're not gonna be on here long, guys. For those that are watching, if you have any questions about anything underneath the sun, if you have any questions about the retreat, if you have any questions about women's health or men's health, we'll answer it the best we can, and then we can consult our male detox friends. But we're going to be on here maybe about what, 10, 20 more minutes, if that. Definitely 10 more minutes, but so we have some people joining. But
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Good.
10 minutes is good?
Yeah.
Okay. I know that men go through a thing when they transition to an all raw diet, and which it's sounds kind of more peaceful to me, you know, like their mind just isn't always going, their gears just aren't always spinning about sex. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Someone even commented before, like, well, if you want to have, which I don't like this comment. It doesn't, I wanted to, you know, I don't even want to say who said it. Okay. But he said something like, oh yeah, if you want to have good sex, just eat you some meat. That's not true. That is not right. So what is that saying? Because if you say that, you know what I mean? Listen to this. So if you were to think that, or to say that, then, oh, okay. Well then, yeah, I guess we ought to be, the men ought to be eating meat. So if you want to have good sex, no, you can have good sex with a, you know, plant-based people are having sex. That's obvious. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I know with a few guys that I've talked to, it's not that the sex really isn't on their mind, but their thing works a lot better. Like if it is going to work, it's showing up, man. It is, you know, it's better than it ever was. It's working better than it ever did, and more control and all of this. So I don't know. That's all I was going to say on that. But
I have a friend who, maybe we could bring him on next week. He's all raw, and he's been raw for, I guess, like almost going on 2 years, but he specifically had a conversation with me about it, how it's so crazy that his mind went from everything relating to sex, like it's on your mind all the time if you're a man. And I thought that was so cliche, but to hear him say it, I was like, wow, I guess that really is how it is. And he was like, to all of a sudden being raw, and I can actually like talk with a female without that being anywhere near my mind. And so it would be really interesting just to see his perspective on it, semen retention and like just stuff that we are not really versed on because we're female. But yeah, we'll try and get someone, a male who's in this space, who's been raw and can actually talk on what it feels like, and the mental and the spiritual ride along with the physical. Because I know for me and Candy, yes, you should not be, you don't even really need to wear anything when you have your monthly. You're spotting, it's light. There's no cramping, there's no pain, there's no bloating. What else? There's no dryness. All those issues, no acne. I think women get skin issues when it's their time of the month. So, yeah. Anything else you want to add to that, Miss? I mean, not Miss Candy. Oh my gosh, I always say it. I'm sorry. Sister Candy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, I think there again, the whole menstruation thing is just all over the board. It's just all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason. I definitely think we have talked about this, but yeah, it's worth mentioning again that, you know, some girls start their period very young. Well, I would call 9 years old young, or 10, and that it happens, you know. Or,
Yeah,
you know,
that's also the stuff in the food. There's hormones in the food, and that's another reason why men experience issues with low testosterone, is because there's birth control in the food, and there's hormones and endocrine disruptors, and just all this sorts of chemistry in the food that definitely impacts our hormones and our adrenals and our chemistry. Yeah.
Yep. Oh goodness, battery's getting low. That's about it. I'm feeding Ned here below me. I'm freaking up.
I'm picking up a little. So we're gonna name our Doxy Moxie, and we're picking her up tomorrow, and it's gonna be so cute. And I don't know what I'm thinking, getting another dog, but it's gonna happen. It's really for Rosie. She needs a little pal.
Yeah. After that video and like you and I talking about that, I'm sure Ned would like to have a little playmate or something, but you know, Ned kind of came to us and we weren't really in the market for a dog at all. I most always had a dog, but you know, if you're traveling or something like that, or if you can't take him with, you know, then you got to make arrangements and stuff like that. But he went everywhere with me today. He likes to ride in the car, and yeah, I don't know.
I think that's different. Like Rosie, we just leave her because she's not a good dog to take around. But no, it seems like Ned, you guys are like always there. So
yeah. Well, I mean, what, at home? You mean always there? Is what do you mean?
Well, it seems like you guys are always with him, or you're always with him. He goes with you places. He's not just left alone for like the whole day, which when I take kids out, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what, though? I mean, I didn't think about it until now, but just like you were saying that there was someone going through just all unsettled. I guess they just feel very unsettled right now, and the way things are. And we could have dove into that a little bit. And I think today was going to be a little bit wonky anyway with.
I think Mercury's in retrograde. I think it's been in retrograde for the last couple of days, and I feel it. Like, I totally feel things are at the low point, and it's hard to stay positive and just keep focusing on why we're doing what we're doing. But yeah, I feel, and I don't know, I'm a huge empath, and I know you are too. I don't know if I'm just picking up other energies, but I do feel like a lull the past, at least yesterday, at least. I know this retrograde has been since the 15th or 14th, but yes, it's just part of life, the ups and downs. And right now, I guess I don't follow politics because I think they're both different sides to the same coin. But there's, I'm more friends with these patriots and like the national type movement, and a lot of people had a lot of trust in Trump, and I get it, but a lot of people now are like, those Epstein files. There's been nothing going on with that, and there's just a lot of disappointment, and I don't know, maybe it's just people I'm talking to, and I feel that energy. But anyways, that's all negative. We should focus on positive, and gratitude will always fix any type of, I don't know, down feeling. I know it doesn't change whatever current situation you're going through, but focusing on what you're grateful for can help a lot.
Take your shoes and socks off and go stand in the grass.
My recommendation for the friend I was talking to was, because when you're feeling really crappy and you're just like, everything is falling apart. I know like I mentioned fasting. I was like, would you fast? Like, what about fasting? Because I know it's like just the act of denying yourself forces you to go in. Like, it forces you to go in, and doing that process, it's such a spiritual, like, you literally forsake everything else and you're able to focus on priorities and what you really are grateful for. So I know that fasting might seem like a crazy solution to, like, everything's falling apart. What am I going to do? I'll just stop eating. But what do you feel about that, Candy? Like, when someone is like going through withdrawals, like feeling like it's the end, like, what's a thing that they can just do, a tool?
Well, I would do an enema and then get myself into a fast. I would work myself into a dry fast for sure. A detoxification specialist woman had lost a child, and someone who has been at this a long time suggested that she do a 4-day dry fast, and so she really got into dry fast. She said it helped her so much, so very much.
I'm glad to hear that, because I was just I said I'm glad to hear that, because I was listening and my heart felt for him, and like I was just thinking, like, what would I do? What would I do if I felt like I didn't want to live anymore? And I was like, I would just fuck everything and just fast. Like, I would just do a water fast. I haven't done dry fast yet, but when you go through a fast, you realize just, you have to experience it to really realize how great it is. But yeah, and his answer was just that he does manual labor and he can't fast doing manual labor. But I didn't want to like push him, but I was thinking, like, all of my fasting was when I was doing manual labor outside in the Florida heat for 12 hours, carrying like 60 pounds of chemical on my back. And I was fasting, and I had so much energy. And then you think about people who do fast, like those communities, those tribal people, and they're also running like 25 miles a day just on water. So I just didn't know how to word it with him, and I wasn't trying to push buttons. But I think that even if you're doing manual labor, it might give you more energy.
All the self-love things, I'd pull it all out. I'd pull out my tool belt of all the self-love things. Go for a long walk. I do yoga. I would give myself a massage. I'm frugal, so I would do it myself. I'll massage my titties, I massage my neck. I can get the
get out the foam roller and just roll on your back.
Yeah.
Massage
binaural beats, maybe some 4-2-3 hertz or something, and sound bath. Give myself a sound bath right there in wherever's the most comfortable place of your home.
Yeah.
Just go to sleep. Go to maybe rest. Go to bed.
I said that too. Go to bed. Meditate. But so many people have different ideas about meditation. Like, and I know there's tons of ways to meditate, but when I say meditate for like these kind of reasons, I mean we're working to turn off the thoughts. We're not trying to let the thoughts roam. Like, we don't want absolutely any humanness in us at all. We're trying to bring that God spirit into us. And so I mentioned meditation, and he said that he did listen to podcasts and all that as his meditation. So hopefully he hears this, and we'll.
There's one that I would recommend.
Yeah.
And come on, don't want to say. Maybe I can. I'll just send it to you. I'll send it. I will talk about it later.
Yeah.
Because I really don't want to promote this guy. I don't really. That sounds awful, but I don't really want to. I don't want to say his name. It is a very good. I mean, he's went on with his detoxification certification and actually got a MD, but a doctorate. Anywho, however, let me just get back to it. There are some video. I listened to his podcast for a minute. It's just been years ago, and there was one called, I think it was the 4 C's. So many C's, and I'm talking about the letter C, and it was. Anyway, he has this one meditation where it's all of it is this whole thread. What I'm talking to you about, he says it's kind of like to prepare you for when you're going to transition, when you're going to die. Yeah, it is pretty good.
I would like to hear it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you, and then you can send it to your friend. But
yeah,
and if anyone else is watching that wants to know what I'm talking about, I don't mind sending it that way. I just don't even want to say the guy's name because
follow Candy. She'll
fell back. He just got all. It's with I don't want to get anyone confused about what to put down in your hole, and you could get confused if you would be to following him. It's not he went off with some other people who wanted to do the whole beef tallow and
drinking your urine and all this crazy fecal
he hadn't gone to that. No, he's not in that one, but he's just in the, like I said, maybe the raw milk and the whatever, and that. So here is, I want to just say this because it kind of goes along with the raw milk, the raw cow's milk, the raw goat milk, people are wanting to homestead or whatever, have a farm, and then you got the pigs and you got the geese and you got the goat and you're getting them goat milk, and then you got the cows and you got to go milk the cows. And okay, so my arm right here, my humerus, attached to that bone are a whole bunch of cells and 2 fluids, and and the top part of it, it's not all connected to the bone, right? The part right there, you get me, isn't. The part that you can touch isn't attached to the bone. Well, that makes my bicep. That makes my bicep muscle. And what is it? It's just a whole bunch of cells. It's just a whole bunch of cells and 2 fluids. If you were to just think about what it would look like if you pulled back the skin, I could compare that to a chicken wing because it's my arm. It could be much. Now let's talk about my thigh and my femur and all of that that's making up my quadricep and my hamstring. A whole bunch of cells and 2 fluids. It's literally tissue. It's literally just flesh. Yeah. Why would I consume it? Because it's just a whole bunch of cells and 2 fluids, it's like a chicken leg. That's all it is. So that's how, meat went out like dead animal tissue. I can't even call it meat because there's coconut meat, there's nut meat. Okay. Dead animal tissue literally went out for me like immediately when I heard him, like, well, just take off a chunk of your leg and cook it. Would you want to eat it? No. Well, this is just a whole bunch of cells and 2 fluids.
I heard one of the, I think her name is Chef Babette. She's raw. She's like in her 70s, looks great. She was saying that. She was like, when you burn yourself, what happens? She's like, your skin blisters and it fills up with fluid. That fluid is your lymph fluid. She's like, when you bake a chicken and all that juice comes out, what fluid is that? She was like, and we eat it, we bathe the meat in it, and it's the chicken's lymphatic fluid that we're eating. And like, I thought how disgusting that sounds, but it made so much sense. Like, we're cooking out all the lymphatic fluids from the muscles, and I don't know.
And people were not just people, it was I was there, are so occluded and congested and stagnant that, we do feel a blowback.
I gotta go because my son's telling me he needs to go to baseball.
Okay.
But I'm gonna call you.
Do call me because I want to.
We'll continue this.
Yeah. All right. Safe travels. Thank you.
But everyone, I put in the comments for the retreat info is our email. It'll go to both of us. It'll be a good time. So yeah, just wanted to say that. All right.
All right.
Namaste. I love you. I'll call you in like 20 minutes.
Okie dokie. You tell him to keep his eye on the ball. What's his age?
13.
Tell him to knock the cover off of it. He already knows to keep your eye on it. So tell him to swing for the fence. I don't know.
Yeah, I will.
Hit it whether or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, all right. I will talk to you later, girl. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.